Hello and welcome to Sudoku Pro. This is a 4-star puzzle from today's Hindu. Let's get started. Let's try to fill E row first. In E row there are 4 empty cells and the missing numbers are 1, 6, 7 and 8. In the central block there is a 1 and a 7 blocking these 2 cells. So 6 and 8 goes here. There is a 6 blocking in the 6th column. So E6 takes 8 and E4 takes 6. Now the cells E1 and E9 take 1, 7 pair. Now in the central block there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2 and 5. There is a 5 here in 4th column blocking. So D4 takes 2 and F6 takes 5. In column 5, these 3 cells in the bottom are blocked by 6, 7 and 8. That means 6, 7, 8 will appear in these 3 cells. So this will actually act as a triplet. Now in A5 you have 8 blocking in A row. So this cell will take 6 or 7. In B row we have a 7 blocking. So B5 will take 6 or 8. And there is a 6 in 0, so C5 will take 7 or 8. Now the missing numbers in this column are 1, 2 and 5. In H row you have 1 and 5 blocking. So H5 takes 2 and rest of the cells G5 and I5 take 1, 5 pair. Now let's try to fill the second block. There is a 1 in column 6 which blocks these 2 cells. So B4 takes 1. Now the missing numbers in this box are 3 and 9. There is a 9 in B1 which is blocking here. So B6 takes 3 and C6 takes 9. In the 6th column the only missing number is 4. In this 8th block, there are 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 3 and 9. So G4 and H4 takes 3, 9 pair. In H row, the missing numbers are 3, 7, 8 and 9. H1 is blocked by 8 and 9 here in column 1 and 3 is here. So H1 takes 7. Now there is a 3 and 9 blocking H3. So H3 takes 8 and here this H8 takes 3 or 9. So this 7 in H1 cancels 7 here in E1 and E1 becomes 1 and E9 becomes 7. Now this 7, there is a 7 in column 9 and there is a 7 in column 8. These 2 7s block these 2 columns here and there is a 7 in I row which blocks these 2 cells. So G7 takes 7. Similarly, there is a 4 in column 8 and a 4 in column 9. These 2 4s block these 2 columns. So B7 takes 4. Now in column 7 there are only 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 3, 8 and 9. In I row we have 3 and 8 blocking the cell. So I7 takes 9 and the rest of the 2 cells, that is D7 and F7, take 3, 8 pair. Now this 9 cancels out the 9 here in H8. So H8 becomes 3 and H4 becomes 9 and G4 becomes 3. There is a 1 in column 1 and 1 in column 2 which blocks these 2 columns and there is 1 in A row which blocks this cell. So C3 takes 1. Now there is a 2 here in A row which blocks this cell. and there is a 2 in D row which blocks this cell. So in column 3, F3 is the only cell where 2 can be. Now there are only 2 empty cells and the missing numbers are 6, 7. So let's fill it with 6, 7 pair. Now in A row there are 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 3, 5 and 9. So in the first block there is a 5 and 9 blocking. So A2 takes 3 and rest of the 2 cells, that is A8 and A9, takes 5, 9 pair. There is a 9 in I row which blocks these 2 cells in G row. So 9 has to be in one of these cells. Now there is 9 in column 1 which blocks G1. So G2 takes 9. Now in column 2 there are 5 empty cells and the missing numbers are 2, 4, 6, 7 and 8. Now in B row there is a 4 and 7 blocking this cell. There is a 8 here which blocks this cell. So B2 takes 2, 6. Similarly in I row you have 4, 7 and 8 blocking. So I2 takes 2, 6. Now that leaves with 3 empty cells and the missing numbers are 4, 7 and 8. Now in F row you have 4 and 7 blocking. So F2 takes 8. And in C2 and D2 take 4, 7 pair. So this 8 cancels out the 8 here in F7. So F7 becomes 3 and D7 becomes 8. Now this 3 blocks this cell. So D1 takes 3. Now in this fourth block there are 3 missing numbers. There is 4, 6, 7, 7. There is a 4, 7 blocking this cell. So F1 takes 6. That cancels out the 6 here. So D3 becomes 7 and D2 becomes 4. So now C2 becomes 7. So this 7 cancels out the 7 here. So C5 becomes 8. B5 becomes 6 and A5 becomes 7. A3 becomes 6. B2 becomes 2. And now the only missing number in the first block is 4. So in B row the only missing number is 8. Now in the third block the missing numbers are 2 and 3. There is a 3 blocking from here. So C8 takes 2 and C9 takes 3. Now in D row the missing numbers are 5 and 6. There is a 6 blocking here. So D9 takes 5 and D8 takes 6. And this 5 cancels out the 5 here. So A9 becomes 9 and A8 becomes 5. Now this 2 blocks these 2 cells in the 9th block. So G9 takes 2. Now in the 9th block the missing numbers are 1 and 8. There is a 8 in the I row which blocks here. So I8 takes 1 and G8 takes 8. This 1 in the I row cancels out the 1 here. So I5 becomes 5 and G5 becomes 1. The 6th block the missing numbers are 1 and 9. There is a 1 blocking from here. So F8 takes 9 and F9 takes 1. So in the 7th block the missing numbers are 2, 5 and 6. There is a 2 in B row which is blocking here. So I2 becomes 6 and the remaining numbers are 2 and 5. There is a 5 in the I row. So I1 takes 2 and G1 takes 5.